Assalamu alaikum students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to another lecture of Inspiring Science in class 4. We will learn today chapter number 5, Solids, Liquids and Gases. In this chapter, we will learn the three states of matter. We will start our today's lecture with this warm-up activity. So let's start our today's lecture. What materials do you think the following things are made of? First picture is of mirror. Mirror is made up of glass. Table tennis ball. Table tennis ball is made up of plastic. Utensils. Utensils are made up of steel. And in the fourth picture there is furniture. Furniture is made up of wood. Our warm-up activity is complete. Now let's move towards reading. Look around your study table. You can see things made of different materials. You can see things made of wood, metal, plastic, glass, etc. All these materials are given a common name called matter. Matter. All substances contain matter. The amount of matter in a substance is measured by its weight. Matter takes up some space to make a substance. The amount of space taken up by the matter of a substance is known as its volume. So anything that has weight and occupies space is called matter. Next we have states of matter. Matter is made of very tiny particles called atom or molecules. They are so small that they cannot be seen, depending on how the molecules are placed in a substance. The substance can be a solid, a liquid or a gas. These are the three states of matter. So students, we are surrounded by many living and non-living things, and all these things take up space and mass. You can see things are made of wood, metal, plastic, glass, etc. All these things are given a common name called matter. So what is matter? Anything or substance that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Do you know that? Matter is made up of very tiny particles called molecules. Next we have states of matter. Matter can exist in three main states, depending on how the molecules are packed or arranged. These states are solid, liquid and gas. Let's have a look on these states of matter one by one in detail. Come to the next page. Solids. In solids, the molecules are very closely packed. They do not have space between them to move. That is why solids have a definite shape, size and volume. Solids could be hard or soft. The shape of some solids can be changed by applying force. For example, a metal wire can be bent by twisting or can be flattened into a sheet by hitting it with a hammer. Some solids do not bend. They break into smaller pieces when force is applied on them. For example, glass. So students, what are solids? Solids are usually hard and have fixed shape and volume. For example, table, chair, book, pencil, stones, etc. All these things are solids. However, we can change the shape of some solids by using force. Now the next question arises, why solids have definite shape and volume? So students, any object is either solid, liquid or gas. Totally depends on the molecules of that object. It depends on how molecules are packed or arranged. I told you earlier that in solid, molecules are closely packed to each other. As you can see in this picture that there is no space between molecules to move around. Next we have an activity. Some pictures are given and we have to write H for the solids which are hard and S for the solids which are soft. First picture is of brick. Brick is hard, so we will write H. Second thing is also hard. Third thing is soft. Fourth one is also soft. Fifth one is hard. Sixth one is hard and the seventh one is also hard. After that we are going to learn about liquids. In liquids the molecules are not very closely packed. There is some space between the molecules. This allows the molecules some movement. That is why liquids do not have a definite shape. Liquids flow when they are left on a flat surface. That is why liquids are also called fluids. Liquids flow from a higher level to a lower level. So, liquids are kept in a vessel. They take the shape of the vessel in which they are kept. Liquids have a definite volume, so the amount of liquid remains same even if it takes the shape of the container. So students, next state of matter is liquid. Liquids have definite volume but no fixed shape. A liquid takes the shape of container in which it is poured. In liquid, molecules are not very closely packed to each other. As you can see in this picture, also there is a beaker and there is a water in it. As you can see, the molecules are not very closely packed to each other. There is a space between molecules to move around, and this allows liquid to flow, so liquids are also called fluids. Now come to the next page. Students, here is an activity. What you have to do. First step, you will take a glass of water and put a mark on the glass to show the water level. In the second step, pour the water into the bottle. In the third step, pour back the water in the glass, and in the fourth step you will observe that water level remains the same in the glass. Our activity is complete. Now come to the next topic, gas. Molecules in a gas are placed far apart from each other. There is a lot of space between them, so they can freely move about in any direction. Hence, gases do not have a definite shape, nor do they have a definite volume. They take up all the space around, so gases have to be kept in closed containers. So students, the third state of matter is gas. Do you know that air is the gaseous state of matter? So gases have no definite shape and no volume. It means a gas has no shape, no size of its own. Gas takes the shape of any container in which it is filled. Now let's see how molecules are arranged in gaseous state. In gas, molecules are very loosely packed to each other. As you can see in this picture, molecules moves quickly in all directions, and gas flows more easily and rapidly than liquids. Example of a liquid is perfume. The smell of a perfume spreads quickly from one corner to the next corner. Next we have an activity. Burn some coconut fiber or dry leaves to create a smoke. Hold a glass jar face down over it. As soon as some smoke enters the jar, cover the mouth of the jar with a lid. Place the jar on the table. What do you see? Is the glass seen only at one part of the jar, or it is distributed evenly throughout the jar? Now open the lid. Does the smoke remain inside the jar? It flies away, showing that gases take up all the space available to them. So students, the things you will be needed to perform this activity are coconut fiber or dry leaves and an empty glass jar with a lid. So what you have to do is burn the coconut fiber or dry leaves, turn the glass jar over it. The smoke will enter into the jar. Now cover the jar with a lid and place it on the table. You will see that smoke will cover the whole area of the jar. As soon as you remove the lid, the smoke will escape from the jar. This activity shows that gases take up all the space available to them. Now come to the next page. We have some fill in the blanks. Molecules are very closely packed in dash. Molecules are very closely packed in solids. Molecules are not so closely packed in dash. Molecules are not so closely packed in liquids. Third one is molecules are placed far apart from each other in dash. Molecules are placed far apart from each other in gases. Our next topic is states of matter are interchangeable. You already know that water can exist in all the three states of matter. In normal conditions, water exists in its liquid state, but when it is heated, it becomes water vapors and exists in its gaseous state. When it is cold, it becomes ice and exists in its solid state. Like water, most other substances too change their state when they are heated or cooled. But the temperature at which they change their state is different from different substances. Solids, liquids and gases are interchangeable states of matter. So students, matter can change its form from one state to another. Like it can change from solid to liquid and liquid to gas to solid, and also in the reverse direction. When a solid is heated, its molecules loosen up. It melts and changes into a liquid. This process is called melting. So students, the process by which a solid changes into a liquid is called melting. We can take an example of water. When we take out an ice cube from the freezer and leave it at room temperature, you will notice that ice starts to melt into water, and this is the process called as melting of water. Now come to the next page. When a liquid is heated, the molecules become free. The liquid changes into its gas or vapor state. This process is called evaporation. So students, next is change of liquid into gas. The process by which a liquid changes into gas is called evaporation. For example, when we boiled water in a pan and the water starts boiling, you will notice after some time the level of water decreases. This is because the liquid changes into steam, and this steam is called as water vapor. Next is condensation. When a gas is cooled, its molecules condense or come closer. The gas changes back into liquid. This process is called condensation. So students, what is condensation? The process by which gas changes into liquid is called condensation. For example, when water starts boiling, hold a cold steel plate over a pot of boiling water. You will see water droplets collecting on the plate. Water vapors has changed back into water on cooling. So this process is known as condensation. Next is freezing. When a liquid is cooled, its molecules come even closer. They freeze into a closed pack and turn into solid. This process is called freezing. So students, what is freezing? The process by which a liquid changes into solid is called freezing. For example, if you pour water in an ice tray and keep it in the freezer, you will see that after some time the water turns into ice. The molecules of a liquid come closer when it is cold. Next topic is solubility. Here we have an activity. So what you have to do, take a glass of water, add 2 teaspoons of sugar and stir. You will notice that the sugar disappears. It cannot be seen because it has completely mixed with the water. We say that the sugar has dissolved in the water. Now let's start reading. The solid substance which dissolves in the liquid is called a solute, and the liquid is called a solvent. In the above activity, sugar is the solute, water is the solvent, and the sweet water is the solution. The ability of a solute to dissolve in a solvent is known as its solubility. Water is known as the universal solvent because it can dissolve a wide variety of substances. Substances that dissolve in water are soluble in it, while those that do not are insoluble in it. So students, there are some solid which get dissolved in liquid. For example, if we put salt in water and after some time we will observe that salt will disappear. Why? Because salt is completely mixed with water and makes a solution. Next is solute. What is solute? The solid which gets dissolved in a liquid is called solute. Solvent. The liquid in which solute gets dissolved is called the solvent. Solution. When solute dissolved in solvent, we get solution. What are solubles? Following items are dissolved in water, which means solutes. These are called as soluble. So salt and sugar are solubles. They can easily dissolve in water. Water is known as universal solvent because water can dissolve a wide variety of different substances. Salt is soluble in water and sand is insoluble in water. Here we have an activity. What you have to do, take a glass of water, add 2 teaspoons of sand and stir. You will notice that sand does not dissolve in water. It means sand is insoluble in water. Next we have an interesting information. Do you know, have you seen that when the lid of a bottle or the can of an aerated soft drink is opened, gas comes out in the form of bubbles? It is because carbon dioxide gas is dissolved in these cold drinks. After that we have another activity. Take a glass of water, put a mark on the water level, add 2 spoonfuls of sugar, stir till the sugar dissolves. You will notice that the water level in the glass has not gone up, even after adding sugar to it. The molecules are loosely packed. The volume of the solution does not increase when the sugar dissolves completely in the water. Next we have some blanks. Fill in the blanks. State of water changes on dash or dash. State of water changes on heating or cooling. Substances which do not dissolve in a liquid are dash in it. Substances which do not dissolve in a liquid are insoluble in it. Solute and solvent together combine to form a dash. Solute and solvent together combine to form a solution. Now let's move towards the exercise. Fill in the blanks with the correct option. First one is matter is made of tiny particles called dash. Matter is made of tiny particles called atoms or molecules. Second one is dash flow from a higher level to a lower level. Liquids flow from a higher level to a lower level. Third one is states of matter are dash. States of matter are interchangeable. Fourth, dash is known as the universal solvent. Water is known as the universal solvent. Fifth one is in a sugar solution, sugar is the dash. In a sugar solution, sugar is the solute. B part is state whether the following sentences are true or false. First, molecules are so small that they cannot be seen. Yes, molecules are so small that they cannot be seen. Second, gases have a definite shape and size. False. Why? Because solids have a definite shape and size. Third, on cooling, the gaseous state of water changes into its liquid state. Yes, on cooling, the gaseous state of water changes into its liquid state. Fourth one is sand is soluble in water. False. Sand is insoluble in water. Fifth one is the volume of a solution does not change if the solute completely dissolves in the solvent. Yes. Now let's move to the question answers. Question number 1 is what is matter? So the answer is anything that has weight and occupies space is called matter. Question number 2. Why do solids have a definite shape and size? So the answer is solids have a definite shape and size because their molecules are very closely packed. They do not have space between them to move. Question number 3. How is a gas able to spread in all directions? So the answer is gas is able to spread in all directions because its molecules are free to move anywhere. Question number 4. Do molecules in a liquid have more space between them than solids? So the answer is yes, molecules in a liquid have more space between them than solids. Question number 5 is what is solubility? The ability of a solute to dissolve in a solvent is known as its solubility. Next we have answer these questions in short. Question number 1, draw a diagram showing the arrangement of molecules in solids, liquids and gases. So students, we have some diagrams showing the arrangement of molecules in solids, liquids and gases. Question number 2 is write differences between solids and liquids. Solids have fixed shape, size and volume. Liquids do not have a fixed shape but have a fixed volume. In solid, molecules are closely packed, but in liquid, molecules are not very closely packed. Last question is how can you change ice into steam? So the answer is we can change ice into steam by heating. It will first change into water and then steam. Our exercise, reading and explanation of this unit is complete. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. So take care and Allah Hafiz.